में जाके हराया है, इंग्लैंड को इंग्लैंड में जाके हराया है। तो ये चेंजेस ये WPL लेके आया है। अब के क्रिकेटर्स की सोच जो है वो बहुत आगे निकल चुकी है, जो कि एक अच्छा साइन है वुमेन्स क्रिकेट के लिए।
अच्छा, तो अब मुझे ये बताइए, मैं थोड़े से क्विक फायर क्वेश्चंस आपकी तरफ फेंकती हूँ। आपको अभी तक में सबसे ज्यादा स्ट्रांग टीम कौन सी लग रही है WPL में?
चाहती मैं DC बोलना थी, बट मुंबई इंडियंस के साथ जाऊंगी।
वेल, नो सरप्राइजेस देयर। मुंबई इंडियंस IPL को भी डोमिनेट कर रहे हैं और अब ऐसा लग रहा है कि WPL को भी डोमिनेट कर सकते हैं।
अपने लेगेसी आगे लेके जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि उनका ऑक्शन का वो जो होमवर्क होता है ना, वो स्पॉट ऑन होता है। उसकी वजह से आपको ये अभी रिजल्ट नजर आ रहे हैं, जो भी 3 में से 3 मैच जीते हैं, जो हैट्रिक मारी उन्होंने जीत की।
और सबसे एक्साइटिंग प्लेयर आपको कौन सा लगा है? एस्टैब्लिश्ड प्लेयर्स में कोई एक पिक कीजिए, और यंग जो आपने शायद नहीं देखा हो या नहीं सुना हो जिसके बारे में, जिन्होंने आपको सरप्राइज किया है, उसका भी एक नाम बताइए।
देखिए, डोमेस्टिक में एस्टेब्लिश्ड प्लेयर साइका थी, जिन्होंने बहुत अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस दी है, और जहां से वो बिलोंग करती है और जहां तक वो पहुंची है, मेरे लिए वो बहुत अच्छा लगा देखे, क्योंकि मैं उसके साथ खेली हूँ, और जहां तक वो पहुंची है वो अपनी मेहनत से पहुंची है। और एक और नाम मैं लेना चाहूंगी, जसिया अख्तर, जो कश्मीर के, साउथ कश्मीर के बहुत छोटे से शहर से आती है। उनकी जर्नी भी बड़ी अच्छी रही है, लेकिन DC ने अभी तक उनको खेलने का मौका दिया नहीं है। वो एक प्लेयर टू वॉच आउट फॉर है आने वाले मैचेस में। मेरे को लगता है डोमेस्टिक की इस टाइम हार्डेस्ट हिटर है वो।
Hello everyone, you're watching News Epicenter with me, Maria Shakil. There is a big political face-off in the state of Rajasthan right ahead of the state elections. The widows of the Pulwama martyrs have demanded government jobs for extended family members. They have been protesting for over a week, accusing the state government and the state police of harassment, and that the state government has not lived up to its promise. The widows were in fact detained late last night by the police as they refused to relent, demanding immediate government aid. After Sachin Pilot met the widows and urged the Chief Minister to relax the government rules as well as take action against the errant cops, the Chief Minister has refused to budge, saying government jobs are meant only for the children of martyrs, not extended family members. The Chief Minister has made it clear that he will not set a wrong precedent under political pressure. But the BJP has taken a direct shot at the Chief Minister, accusing him of insulting military families and treating them as common criminals. BJP workers also clashed with the police, demanding the state government deliver justice to the widows. The political showdown is only escalating between the BJP and the Congress. But the big question remains, is it hampering a solution or a middle ground when addressing the plight of the Pulwama widows?
आखिर ऐसा क्या मांग रही हैं वीरांगनाएं, और ऐसी क्या बात है कि राजस्थान सरकार के मुख्यमंत्री उनसे मिलने से मना कर रहे हैं? ये कांग्रेस पार्टी झूठी पार्टी है और झूठे वादे करती है।
And earlier today, I spoke to BJP MP Rajyavardhan Rathore, and I began by asking him, Mr. Rathore, you did a press conference in which you raised concerns regarding the Pulwama martyrs family in the context of your home state. The latest issue is, of course, of Pulwama martyr's wife, in fact, widow, being manhandled and assaulted by the Rajasthan police because they were demanding their rights. What they were demanding was something that was promised to them. Does it actually put the focus on how the Congress response to the martyr and armed forces in general has been? What do you really want from the Ashok Gehlot government?
See, you have to see the issue in its entirety. There are certain rules, regulations for those killed in action, for as you usually call martyrs. There's central government that gives them benefit. There's the armed forces, then there's the state government that gives them benefits. Now, the other issue is, especially when Pulwama happened, emotions were very high. The video, if you would please show to the people, is of the time when the last rites were happening of one of the martyrs. And that's where the chief minister, then chief minister, and the present chief minister had sent his emissaries, his ministers, to speak to the family. Now, those ministers who were there with the authority of the chief minister promised certain things to the family. Now, either they were plainly lying and giving fake promises, or they didn't even know what they were talking about. So the chief minister is responsible for things that were promised to the family then. Now for the chief minister to say, look, here are the rules and regulations, is incorrect, because something was promised to the families at that point of time. Mind you, at that point of time, the elections were round the corner, and therefore it becomes very, very convenient for Congress to give fake promises, false promises, exactly what they did with the unemployed youth, to say that hum aapko berojgari bhatta denge, exactly what they did for the Kisan, saying that in 10 days your loans will be waived off. I mean, everything is a farce for Congress. And now, so these two things, and now just the plain attitude of how do you treat a martyr's family? How do you treat a family of the person killed in action? Are you going to mistreat them on the roads? Are you going to drag them on the roads? Are you going to beat them with sticks? Are you going to use your police force for them? If you have the might, why don't you use your police force on those who are breaking law and order? There's enough number of cases in Rajasthan where people are taking the law in their own hands. Why is the police not acting there? You want to use your police might on these people? And tell me, why can't the chief minister just plain simply meet these families? Is he so scared of these families of the martyrs? Because perhaps he's scared because he's promised them something that he cannot deliver, and he's promised them on the pretext of the elections. Now Chief Minister goes to Delhi regularly for that National Herald case, is a 5,000 crore scam. He goes there, but he doesn't have the time to meet the families.
Yes. Since you're talking about the demands, Mr. Rathore, these demands are legitimate, certainly, because if you look at it, asking for construction of roads in the village is what these family wants. They are asking for jobs to relatives on ground of compensation as promised. Since the BJP has sought the intervention of the governor, what's next? You are saying that these promises were timed with election and nothing has been delivered, evidently. How is the BJP planning to take this up?
No, but first I must tell you that what are these asking? What are the martyrs' families asking? One of the families, and the chief minister has remarked in his Twitter, that is asking for the third statue to be placed in the center of the city. So here is a family, Gandhi family, who has 400 schemes on their name, but a battle casualty, a martyr, for him to have the third statue is asking for too much. I mean, even if they're asking for third statue, what is so big about it? Cannot the chief minister talk to the family and perhaps put the third statue? It's so small, and he's not even willing to meet them. That's the issue. The minister in the video is clearly promising a job for the brother-in-law of the lady whose husband died. Right? Now, once he's promised, either he's a minister, he's standing there with an authority. If he's promised, live up to your promise. Don't quote us rules. No, don't forget us. Don't quote the family the rules. There has to be certain respect. So they're asking for schools to be named after them. They're asking for roads to be made. Roads are for the benefit of everyone. So what is so big that they are asking that you're not even willing to meet them? Now coming to what is our party doing? Of course, we are raising this matter. We want this matter to be settled amicably. We respect those killed in action. We respect, for us, India comes first. It's very straight and simple. And anybody who's strengthening the nation, whether it is in economic might, whether it's military might, is number one family for us. So these martyrs families are number one family. As far as any VIP is concerned, these are the VIPs for us. But for Congress, unfortunately, no. They use them for their politicking. Now they're thrashing them. It's just disgusting and disgraceful. The Chief Minister should meet them. That is the first thing that should happen. Okay. And of course, either you have respect for those who are fighting for the nation, or you don't have. So I don't think so we can now say that Congress should have respect for those fighting for the nation. Perhaps they can never have, because you see Rahul Gandhi, how often he's questioning. He's questioning about the surgical strikes. He's questioning about what is happening in Galwan, whether the Indian army is getting beaten up there. That's what he's stating there. So these people cannot ever be taught how to respect the armed forces or the families of the armed forces. So let's forget about that.
Mr. Rathod, last question to you. Should there be a code for how all governments deal with armed forces and martyrs to ensure uniformity in dealing with the sensitive issue of the dignity of men in uniform?
So now, Maria, you are asking something which the government should always be doing, which is taking care of, coming up with the laws to take care of the families. Now, these laws can be dynamic. It's nothing sacrosanct that they should not change as per the time. They should be dynamic. What is required is simply that, number one, the children need to be taken care of till the time they grow up. Their education needs to be taken care of. The parents of the martyr, mother and father, they need to be taken care of. The wife needs to be taken care of. And obviously, how do you raise a family? You need resources, you need money. So a job is required. Now, for the Chief Minister to say that the job is reserved for the children is fair in a way. But number one, you promised that the job will be given to the brother-in-law. Number two, till the time the children grow up, what is the family going to do? Right? So there has to be resources. These are dynamic problems. The problems cannot be very static. That there's a formula laga diya, us formula se sab kuch hota rahega. These situations are dynamic, and that's why governments are formed. That's why people with a heart to take care of the people who strengthen the nation, they need to be taken care of. At this point of time, government of Rajasthan needs to play the role of parents for this family, which unfortunately, look at the way they are doing. That is what they need to do. If they need to learn lessons from us, if they need to learn how to make policies for us, they can always come up to us. We as opposition are always willing to help. But number one thing is the Chief Minister needs to listen to these people.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time, Rajvardhan Rathod. They are raising the question as to why the Chief Minister has not even visited the family. That's a legitimate question to ask. Joining me on the panel now, Shahzad Poonawala, BJP National Spokesperson here in the studio, Advocate Mahima Singh, Congress Spokesperson. We also have General KJ Singh, Defence Expert. Mahima Singh, Pulwama attack has unfortunately been at the center of political controversy. If the Congress has been questioning the attacks itself and imputing a conspiracy angle, then one may say that this insensitivity is only expected.
Good evening, Maria. Good evening, all. I am reminded of the treason committed by Arnab Goswami when I think of Pulwama. This attack, we have won like crazy. And the silence of the BJP and the Prime Minister to that treason. And the silence of the BJP and the Prime Minister to the Pulwama attack itself. The Prime Minister, what was he doing when Pulwama attack happened? That's yet to be answered. And, why did he not speak up immediately? Why did he keep mum? And today we hear the BJP talking about women, youth, employment. We hear them talking about a dialogue. This is the same BJP which about a month ago in Joshimath, we heard from the civil societies that the CM, Mr. Pushkar Singh Dhami, was not even allowing 40 seconds to the civil societies to talk to them. So first of all, they are hypocrites, this party.
But Mahima Singh, you haven't answered my question. If the family is asking for one more statue, when the Gandhis actually have 400, then why is the demand so illegitimate? And it cannot be one size fit all. If the rule is that it will be for the next of kin, but if the children are small, then how do you take care of them? And it's only legitimate that the job should be passing on to someone else? And why did the minister make that promise that the brother-in-law will get the job? He certainly was aware of the rules.
Maria, a head of the state definitely has to undertake many aspects and has to look from various perspectives while acting. Unlike the BJP that doesn't even talk about jobs and youth and inflation and women, the critical issues that are hitting the country today, the Congress party in all the states where we are ruling, we are walking the talk, we are doing, we're taking actions in the interest of all the stakeholders.
Okay.
So
you have still not answered my question, and I want to understand from General KJ Singh. General KJ Singh, I'd asked my research team to get details of what the states should do and what the governments must do in case of a casualty of this nature, when jawans give up their lives for the motherland, and there is a fixed, rule to follow. But it's a situation that is dynamic, as Rajyavardhan Rathore was rightly pointing out. If in this particular case, the minister goes and says that brother-in-law will be eligible, knowing fully well that it is for the children only, then why were these promises in fact made?
Maria, Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
Firstly, I am appalled and I am very distressed by the fact that people are not meeting the families.
Yes.
That courtesy must be definitely extended. Stepping aside from the politics, I would like to say that I don't fully agree with Rajyavardhan's remarks, Honorable MP's remarks, because there has to be a common policy in the country. Unfortunately, Rajasthan is a laggard. It is lagging behind. And I was advisor to Haryana Chief Minister on Veteran Affairs, and I must tell you that they must take the Haryana model, wherein they give nearly the best package. So, a center should structure a meeting, and it should be a common kind of a model which should be put in place. So, what do we do in Haryana? In Haryana, we give a job. We preferably give it to the wife. If wife is not educated and not willing to take the job, she can nominate somebody, and at that time, wife forgoes her right. And children also forgo that right. Job is only one. So, here is some kind of a solution.
And when children grow up, they can take up that job? I mean, is that option available for future?
Maria? Yeah, for future, they must get free education. And putting a statue, naming the road, these are very normal things. They don't cost much. In any case, it builds up confidence of those village people. So that, I think, should be done immediately. So I don't know why Rajasthan government is dithering on such things which are doable. And what to me looks sensible is give the job to brother, but take some kind of guarantee that the children of this braveheart, this Veer Nari, will be looked after, and give them free education.
Yes.
Try and put them in the Sainik school so that they get good education, and they build up the legacy of this braveheart.
Yes, absolutely. What I'm in full agreement with you, General Singh, is that basic courtesy of the meeting should have been extended, which hasn't been done. Shahzad Poonawalla, your response to what Mahima Singh said.
First of all, look, let's understand that शहीदों का और सेना का अपमान ये बन चुका है कांग्रेस की पहचान. Whether it's saying पिटाई हो गई सेना की, demanding proof for surgical strike, doubting Balakot, or once upon a time Sandeep Dixit had said Sadak ka gunda for the army chief. This is the structure in which the Congress operates, and in fact, you rightly said that at the time when Rahul Gandhi says that this is a car bomb, it's not a terror attack. At the same time, in a sense, to take that idea forward, the Rajasthan government, forget giving them the basic rights. What we are basically expecting is that you treat the person with dignity. Saris were being torn. Please show the visuals of the first day protest, Maria. At that time, saris were being torn in a state which runs on Ladki Hu Lad Sakti Hu. Women were being beaten up by the Rajasthan police, and last night they get picked up at 3 am. My only question is, when is the last time a dangai called Matloob Ahmed got picked up at 3 am? Any aparadi or a balatkari like Mahesh Joshi's son got picked up at 3 am? And forget what BJP is saying. Leave the BJP out. Here is Mr. Sachin Pilot. Sachin Pilot to hamari party mein nahi hai na? सचिन पायलट ने बोला है कि आई वुड वांट punishment and it is unapologetic behavior, it is completely unapologetic behavior that has been shown, and there is a non-fulfillment of promises. So Sandeep, Mr. Sachin Pilot is saying this. Now another interesting thing, Rajasthan Chief Minister, the head of the state apparently, has all the time to go and meet Mr. Junaid and Nasir's family, which he should as the head of that state. He should go and meet. Which rules was he following there? But when it comes to the martyrs family, suddenly all the rules etc. have come up. So this shows that for vote bank politics, and forget everything else. Mahima ji, can I just ask you one thing as a younger brother to you? Do you even know the names of the 3 martyrs whose wives or widows are on the streets? I would be very obliged if you could name the 3 martyrs who laid down their lives from Rajasthan, whose widows are on the streets. Let's see if you have any courtesy for them. Do you know their names?
Will not act at the behest of the BJP.
I know you don't know their names, so let me please. You won't give them, Mahima ji. I understand you have not even had the courtesy to read up about those 3 bravehearts. So let me use this platform for Maria's platform. Maria, if I may just complete. I'm just speaking the last statement, Maria.
Yes, quickly.
If I may quickly.
Shahzad, make your point. Mahima, I'm coming to
Maria,
you. Just a moment. Yes.
राजस्थान की सरकार चाहे आपको न्याय दे ना दे, मैं रोहिताश लांबा जी, हेमराज मीना जी और जीतराम गुजर जी आपके शहादत को नमन करता हूं और आपके परिवारों के सामने नतमस्तक होता हूं। कांग्रेस की सरकार है, वो शहीदों का बार बार अपमान तो वैसे ही करती, उनका चरित्र है, पर मैं नतमस्तक करता हूं। कोई सड़क आपके नाम पे रखे ना रखे राजस्थान में, पूरा देश आपके लिए हमेशा कृतज्ञ रहेगा।
Okay, Mahima, you know the point being made here is of a larger insensitivity. Only recently, during the Bharat Jodo Yatra, Digvijay Singh, a senior Congress leader, raised the issue of Pulwama being a conspiracy and a pre-planned attack. The Congress and Mr. Gandhi himself had distanced themselves, saying it didn't seem, distanced themselves, but somehow it did not really seem convincing. The Congress somehow, even right now, is being convenient.
Maria, it's very interesting that, the basic courtesy that you were talking about was never questioned in the case of the Prime Minister when he refused to meet the farmers for 1.5 long years. The farmers sat on the boundaries of the national capital, and the Prime Minister, who was just a few kilometers away, could not have the courtesy to drive down to that site where about 1,000 farmers died. Isn't that martyrdom in a historical protest? Now, when you pick and choose where you want to, I'm talking about the head of the country, you are talking about the head of a state, wherein you are saying, those statues to ban gaye, teesra kyun nahi bana sakte? I am saying that, this is like...
Shouldn't the state be the parent of these children?
Also, it is...
Ma'am, shouldn't the state be the parent of these children, is my question, ma'am.
The state is responsible for these children,
yes,
and all the children. The state is responsible for the farmers that died on the boundary, and the PM is answerable. Instead, look at the audacity of the BJP. Instead of understanding and instead of living up to their accountability and answerability as the ruling party of the country, the Prime Minister who kept mum, can the BJP spokesperson tell me why did the Prime Minister keep mum on a Pulwama? Why did he speak only hours
respond to
after
this.
that? Why was he too busy? He has the audacity.
Yes, please go ahead.
On the names
so basically the question is that you are in no position to question the Congress party when you have not answered the question that the Congress has raised.
Okay, may I address one by one? We were silent on Pulwama. We did Balakot airstrike, unlike 26/11, where after saying that these are the terror camps by Fali Major, we did not take any action. We gave Pakistan most favored nation status. It was written by Manish Tiwari in his book and by Barack Obama ji. But anyways, let me see. Now see, they are drawing the wedge between Kisan and Jawan. By the way, in the Kisan issue, you demanded that they have a right to protest. So how come these widows don't have right to protest and you drag them by the sadi? Mahima ji, think like a mother or a sister or a woman today. I request you to do that. Ma'am, let me complete my say. I did not interrupt you. Mahima, in the interest of a good debate, let me complete, then you can speak. Let's have a courteous debate. Thirdly, look at the pattern of the Congress. It's not about the third statue, Maria. National War Memorial 50 वर्ष और आपने वहाँ से रिपोर्टिंग की है. Denied by Congress. OROP 45 वर्ष. Denied by Congress. हमारे साथ लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल बैठे, पूछे बुलेट प्रूफ जैकेट मरिया 8 वर्ष बुलेट प्रूफ जैकेट नहीं खरीदा इन लोगों ने. आज तक इस देश में AK-47 वाली सीरीज की राइफल मैन्युफैक्चर नहीं करने दी, और रफाल खरीदने गए तो रफाल में चोरी हुई है ये बोलकर हमें वो प्लेन्स ना मिले, इसके लिए सारे षड्यंत्र रचे गए. दिस इज द कांग्रेस पार्टी. And I completely agree with sir that look, the armed forces, when they lay down their lives for us, they are not looking for a road being named or anything, but at least we can give them the basic courtesy that you don't drag them by their hair and their sari. महिमा जी, बाकी तो छोड़ दीजिए, आपकी सरकार नहीं कर पाएगी, आपने 4 साल से वादे तोड़े, पर कम से कम पुलिस से डंडे तो मत
Will there be action against these cops, Mahima?
As I said, the CM is acting in the interest of law and justice, Maria, and let me just say, he's talking about OROP.
No, but Mahima, you know, when we look at these visuals, it's certainly visuals of police high-handedness. Will action be taken against these cops?
I've been raising my hand, Maria, please allow me to complete my thought. He was talking about OROP. I'm immediately reminded of Mr. Jethmalani's confession, which is doing rounds on social media yet again, where it is talked about how the BJP befooled the nation, befooled him into trusting them. And let me just say that the BJP will play the politics of sympathy because they are hypocrites, as I said earlier. And they will talk about, you know, pulling off sari and not giving time to the women today. They will not talk about why did they remit the convicts of Bilkis Bano. They will not talk about why did the CM in Uttarakhand not give even few minutes to the stakeholders of Joshi Math. They will not
General
talk about...
KJ Singh, I'll give you the final word. You know, moving away from politics, Shahzad.
Yeah.
General KJ Singh, you know, my basic argument is that shouldn't there be greater sensitivity in dealing with such families?
Maria, it is non-negotiable. It takes very little to come out, have a dialogue with this family.
Yes.
If you have some rules which prevent you from giving a government job, you can always arrange a job through NGO or some other social organization. State is a huge, big machinery. And I must also put on record here that very few states are looking at welfare of Ardh Sainik Bal, which is Central Armed Police Forces. And country must wake up to this need. Today, Central Armed Police Forces are becoming nearly as big as armed forces themselves. And here again, I will quote to you Haryana government example. In Haryana, the Sainik Welfare Department has been merged and Ardh Sainik Bal has also been joined with that. So it's time, stepping aside from politics, that all state governments must look at the welfare of Central Armed Police Force.
So you are essentially saying, General Singh, that there is a model, perhaps Rajasthan government can look at this model of Haryana government and look at ways in which the family can be taken care of. Because state certainly is responsible here and the state has to be acting like a parent, which hasn't been the case in this particular unfortunate story. Advocate Mahima Singh and General Singh, really appreciate your time. Shahzad will be continuing with us in the second debate as well. Shifting focus now, there has been no legal relief for Manish Sisodia in the Liquorgate probe. Just a day after he was arrested by the ED, that is in the Enforcement Directorate, the agency has been granted remand till March 17th. The court ruled in favor of the agency's plea for custodial interrogation. The Enforcement Directorate has accused Sisodia of conspiracy in framing the now defunct liquor policy for kickbacks as well as destruction of evidence. The agency also plans to interrogate him face-to-face with the other accused. The BJP launched a mega protest in the capital seeking Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's resignation. The Aam Aadmi Party continues to claim vendetta politics, accusing the BJP of plotting to keep Sisodia in jail as it has been spooked by the party's rise. The lens is also on Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao's daughter and BRS MLC K. Kavita. She has been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate on the 11th of March, that is tomorrow. The summons have been issued after her alleged aide, Hyderabad-based businessman Arun Pillai, was arrested by the ED in connection with the case. As per the agency, both Pillai and Kavita were part of a cartel of retailers, wholesalers and manufacturers who allegedly gave 100 crore to the Aam Aadmi Party via Vijay Nair, who served as a communications in charge in the party. In fact, he was responsible for making some changes in the liquor policy. K. Kavita has dismissed these charges. She says she will not be intimidated and is being targeted for exposing the failures of the central government. However, the big question remains, with no legal relief, Is the vendetta politics charge crumbling?
I would say that 58 pages of the remand application, all blown up allegations, nothing substantial, and not a single iota of an evidence where it has been shown that the money trail has reached to Mr. Sisodia.
मुझे जो आगे की तस्वीर दिख रही है उसमें अरविंद केजरीवाल जी का भी शायद यही हश्र होगा जो आज मनीष सिसोदिया का हुआ है।
ये हमारी नज़र में मनीष सिसोदिया जी शिक्षा मंत्री थे, मनीष सिसोदिया जी शिक्षा मंत्री हैं और मनीष सिसोदिया जी ही शिक्षा मंत्री रहेंगे। केंद्र सरकार चाहे कितने भी झूठे केस लगाकर मनीष जी, सत्येंद्र जी जैसे व्यक्तियों को जेल में डाल दे, लेकिन जो उनका प्रयास है कि दिल्ली वालों के काम को रोका जाए, उस प्रयास को हम कभी सफल नहीं होने देंगे।
This is nothing but a serious and institutional targeting of opposition leaders. BJP runs an entire ecosystem of spreading lies.
And breaking news coming in now, CNN News 18 has accessed the Enforcement Directorate's remand note revealing the damning charges against Manish Sisodia, and as per the agency, Manish Sisodia is guilty of money laundering. The agency says that Manish Sisodia conspired to form the faulty liquor policy for kickbacks. Manish Sisodia was privy to the proceeds of crime. These are the words of the Enforcement Directorate. It says chats reveal Vijay Nair worked with Sisodia's support. There have been multiple discrepancies in Sisodia's statement. The ED claims that Sisodia is not cooperating with the investigation, that he is withholding information in his exclusive knowledge, that Mr. Sisodia made conscious efforts to destroy evidence, that 14 phones were used by him and 12 have been destroyed. The agency says that Sisodia changed SIM cards, procured them under different name. Ananya Bhetnagar is joining us live. Ananya, it's only getting tough for Manish Sisodia. It looks like that the money trail could have very well be established here.
Definitely, Maria, it's a troubled road for Manish Sisodia with a lot of hurdles coming up, because remember, the 58-page remand note that we have managed to access at CNN News 18 goes on to detail down the allegations against Manish Sisodia, and not only in the formulation of this particular policy, but also of destruction of evidence. He was privy to the whole proceeds of crime. Money had come to him, is what the Enforcement Directorate says. He was in knowledge of that particular proceeds of crime, and that's the reason why he is guilty of the offence of money laundering under Section 3 of the PMLA, is what the enforcement agencies say. Now, what is the defence that is being put forth by Manish Sisodia's counsel is that not even a single penny has come to him. He was just the Minister for the Excise and was not a part and parcel to this particular policy, in the discrepancy to this particular policy. However, and it is a political vendetta, they have been constantly saying. But on the contrary, the Enforcement Directorate, through its remand note and through its lawyers, Mr. Zoeb Hussein's special public prosecutor along with Naveen Kumar Mata, had clearly stated before the court that Manish Sisodia had political understanding with K. Kavita, and this was a submission that was made before the court by, in fact, Manish Sisodia's, by the ED's counsel, and that's the reason why Manish Sisodia's representative Vijay Nair and K. Kavita's representative Arun Pillai were actually very key players in this particular policy formulation. In fact, it's also been stated that in order to provide a certain kind of a benefits, 100 crores in kickbacks were received, and after receiving this advance kickbacks, various retail zones were sold two Indo-spirits in which K. Kavita had a large stake, and that's the exact case of the Enforcement Directorate.
Okay.
Now, why it is a troublesome road for Manish Sisodia? Number one, because first of all, even if he secures a bail in the CBI case, he will have to stay in either judicial custody or ED custody because the PMLA probe is on. Secondly, rigors under Section 19 to arrest somebody are very, very high, and that's the reason why in fact ED could have justified its arrest by material evidence. And we've seen how the statements of various people, in fact his own secretaries, were read against Manish Sisodia, and that's the reason why in fact ED had reasons to believe, as per Section 19, to arrest Manish Sisodia. And now under Section 45, when he goes on to secure a bail, these are very, very tough conditions, because he will have to prove that he is not guilty of that particular offence, and secondly, that he would not be committing this particular offence in the near future as well. So it is a tough road for Manish Sisodia at this point of time. ED's charge is glaring up. So what happens next, we'll get to know on March 17 when ED comes back, because it is said that it wants to confront Manish Sisodia with various people, and especially these excise officials. And when he will be confronted in the custodial interrogation, we might see that the probe goes on to a longer ride.
All right, thank you so much, Ananya. And Ananya will track the story very, very closely when the case comes up again. Joining me in the studio, Shehzad Poonawala, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Siddharth Sharma, Aam Aadmi Party Spokesperson, Ashok Gehlot, Senior Advocate, Shantanu Sen, former Joint Director of CBI. Shantanu Sen, given what the ED is saying in its remand copy, do you think they have enough evidence to really prove that this entire policy implementation was not only faulty, that it had led to some kind of illegal gains also for the Aam Aadmi Party?
What we have is allegations, and they are in the FIR, and these allegations are being investigated by the ED. And as long as they are under investigation, Mr. Sisodia will be arrested, confronted, and asked to answer questions. We will wait for the charge sheet to find out if this is evidence. And once the court accepts them, these allegations as evidence, they will become evidence. The use of word evidence at this moment is completely not appropriate.
Okay. So these are not evidence. This is essentially claims by the Enforcement Directorate, by the agency.
Charges.
By the, yes. So these are charges.
By the.
Okay. These are charges by the agency.
That's right. Subject to proof.
Subject to proof. Siddharth Sharma, come in on this. As per the charges by the Enforcement Directorate in its remand, it goes on to say that Manish Sisodia and other AAP leaders got into an arrangement with the South Group through their representative Sri Vijay Nair, wherein against the advance kickback of 100 crore, the South Group was allowed to get illegal benefits, including partnership in Indo-Spirits, making Indo-Spirits the distributor of one of the largest manufacturers, Pernod Ricard, yes, allowing South Group to control multiple retail zones. It's certainly getting tough. You'll have to explain a lot here.
Maria, I think Shantanu Sen has, in his brevity, very clearly explained that this is not evidence. Basically, what has happened is that the excise policy has become a proverbial Schrodinger's cat for the BJP. It's like it's trying to find a black cat in a dark room, in a room that does not exist. One thing that your viewers need to know is that their star witness today, BJP star witness, has submitted in court today that he was asked to sign a confession under duress. So if Mr. Manish Sisodia is not found with any money, there is no case against him, no FIR, no charge sheet. This is a complete, everyone knows. I think it is now clear to every viewer of CNN News 18 channel, especially with the letters from 7 heads of different states to the Prime Minister about the brazen misuse of the investigative agencies, constitutional bodies, that this regime, this now is a battle simply between constructive politics and destructive politics. It is a battle between federalism and unilateralism. Since the BJP today realizes its own bankruptcy in creativity, it is now trying to do the second best thing it can. It is trying to destroy creativity around, be it healthcare and education of Delhi, be it law and order of Punjab, be it social justice of Bihar, be it industrial and all-round development of Tamil Nadu. It is just trying to destroy this.
Yes,
basically
today,
everyone knows today
yes,
that BJP.
But Siddharth Sharma, I'm talking about the remand copy. The fact is that it's a subject of investigation. We are saying that these are the charges, And as Shantanu Sen said, it's us only when the charge sheet will be filed will we know whether these are charges backed by evidence.
Exactly.
Shehzad, you were part of the protests that were being held by the BJP in the national capital today. The question certainly is that, yes, it's getting tough for the Aam Aadmi Party legally, but politically speaking, you have much to explain, particularly with 7 political parties uniting and all of them saying that this is a case of political vendetta.
I call these 9 eminent personalities Bhrashtachar ke 9 Ratna, the colonial cousins of corruption. First, they used to unite in the name of so-called secularism. Today, they unite in the name of protecting corruption. By the way, let me tell you, because you're from Bihar, once upon a time, this is the tweet of Kejriwal on Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav, one of the Bhrashtachar ke Nauratna. Lalu made crores in fodder scam, but no order of recovery of that money, just 25 lakh rupee fine. Today, Arvind and Lalu are on the same side of the divide. So, enough said about that. Lalu has been convicted by a court of law. So, unlike what Mr. Shantanu is saying, he's convicted more than one time. You're from Bihar, you know the case even better than me. Now, let me forget the statements made even by the agencies in front of a court of law. Let me tell you what the court has specifically said. And you know, this is a broken record of Aam Aadmi Party. This is High Court Order 2019, page 16. The entries linked to Mr. Satyendra Jain, and he was held as a Hawalebaz by the High Court. Then let's talk about the trial court. 22nd, this is July 2022. Prima facie sufficient evidence against Satyendra Jain. Delhi court accepts the ED's charge sheet. And they keep saying that paise ka kuch paisa nahi mila, kuch paisa nahi mila. 2 points on that. One, Satyendra Jain was laundering his money using agricultural land, which has been admitted by a court. And secondly, here is today's remand note, which talks about the money trail of at least 292 crores being funneled back to Manish Sisodia and the role he played in organizing the entire thing, right from increasing the profit margins, allowing wholesale to go into the private hands, allowing blacklisted and manufacturing companies. Forget everything else. If there was no scam, Siddharth, here are 3 or 4 specific questions. If there was no scam, your government in 2021 issued a show cause notice to Indo Spirits and took no action after the money started flowing in. Can you tell me why? There is a Dhawan committee report, I'm sure you don't know about it, which clearly said wholesale should remain with the public sector, simply so that there could be no cartelization. You gave it to the private sector, in which the Indo Spirits, where K. Kavita and others have a stake, were able to take a lion's share. And thirdly, please tell me now from your own mouth, is the Congress party, which usually cries vendetta, says that the action on Satyendra Jain and Manish Sisodia is absolutely correct. Are they also siding with a probe which is vindictive? Or are they speaking the truth in this particular matter?
Okay.
And is the matter on Sonia Gandhi vindictive or not?
Siddharth, respond to this and then I bring in the lawyer.
Yeah, Maria, coming from Shahzad from BJP, it is a bit rich. People of India have been seeing that on February 17th, the Home Minister called the Meghalaya government the most corrupt one. And on March 8th, they form a government with the same party. The second thing, Shahzad, I'm going to answer your questions. This is the answer to that. At Adani port, 20,000 crores of worth of drugs from Taliban is seized, but neither Mr. Adani is investigated. Instead, Taliban is given 20,000 tons of wheat. What is this? Isn't it cartelization of some sort? You will have to answer this. Point number 3, while speaking about Mr. Manish Sisodia, that's why this case is absolutely, you will have to answer, BJP spokesperson has to answer, that why is the star witness in this case, one Mr. Pillai, gone hostile against the government? Why is he saying that he was asked to confess under duress? Isn't it true? The point is very simple. If, for example, this whole excise policy, let us give this a small analogy. Any policy, any government is elected by the people to frame certain policies. And when the government frames policies, obviously it will benefit a few entities and it will deprive a few. Is it an argument that on the day demonetization was brought in India, the next day, the new printing press companies obviously benefited from new notes being printed? Is it anybody's case that demonetization was...
Okay, no, Shahzad, before you respond, I want to understand from Ashok Singh. One moment, Shahzad.
Convicted himself with a statement. It's very important
Shahzad, I'll come to you, Shahzad. Okay. Arun Singh, today Arun Pillai, who is a businessman who has allegedly taken the name of K. Kavita, and has said that he was part of that cartelization and he was supposedly the front of KCR's daughter. He has now retracted his statement submitted before the Enforcement Directorate. What does it actually mean now for this case? Mr. Singh, if you can hear me.
Yes. I'm listening.
Yes.
See, anyone can retract from their statement, right? Because the statement given before the police can be retracted, right?
Yes.
Can be retracted before the court, can be retracted before the police. But as far as the ED is concerned, recently Supreme Court has stated the statement made before the ED under the section 50 of the PMLA is an admissible piece of evidence, right? So it has some value. And if it is being retracted afterwards, that will go against that person.
Okay.
Right.
Does it answer your question, Siddharth?
So this is the legal aspect. This is the legal aspect of the retraction of the statement given before the...
So that means it doesn't really work in favor of Manish Sisodia and K. Kavita.
No. It's not going to give any favor to the Manish Sisodia or the K. Kavita because the procedure before the ED is not as similar or at par with the normal police. Because before the normal police, if you make a statement and we retract thereafter, that can be taken, right, as a retraction. But before the ED, once we record the statement under section 50, this becomes the admissible evidence. You cannot retract thereafter. If you retract afterwards, then it will go against you because your credibility becomes doubtful.
Okay.
This is the difference between the ED and the other.
Yes, go ahead.
Look, apart from the legalese, there are a couple of points I want to make. The courts have held Satyendra Jain in jail for last 9 months, despite him trying every avenue. For 6 months, Vijay Nair is in jail, despite him trying every avenue. Manish Sisodia went up to the Supreme Court. Today has been denied by 2 courts. No case of the Sharab Ghotala has been quashed by any court of law. You can assume Modi ji is the worst person on earth, the ED, CBI, everything is a handmaiden. We are the most victimized entities in this planet. But can the courts be adjudicated as being biased? No. So today I want to ask just 2 questions of my friend Siddharth. One, are the courts biased? And if they are not biased, then please pray tell me that why aren't you getting relief from them if you are so innocent? And secondly, Lalu Prasad Yadav is convicted 4 times. His family, against whom the cases were started, by the way, by Lallan Singh JDU, is in your letter of corruption. And from where you have descended and where you have gone. Once upon a time with Anna Hazare, India against corruption. Today, celebration of corruption, justification of corruption under Lalu Prasad. Do you think Lalu Prasad has been a subject matter of vendetta politics when courts convict him 4 times? Specific questions. Don't go to Taliban now.
No.
Start with
I will
Lalu.
go to Yediyurappa this time. Don't worry.
I know you will go everywhere except answer the question. That's what Aam Aadmi Party usually does.
That's what. I'm not going to Taliban. I'll go to Yediyurappa now.
Okay, you
Mr.
carry on.
Yediyurappa has resigned because of corruption, and today he's the mascot of Karnataka BJP. The Prime Minister shares stage with him. So you don't have BJP.
Is that the reason why Manish Sisodia hasn't got relief by court?
I'll answer to your question.
Okay. Let Siddharth Sharma speak. Yes. Go ahead.
A simple question. BJP cries wolf about respecting law, and Mr. Manish Sisodia being incarcerated.
Lalu is convicted. Is it vendetta
or not? BJP should answer that in this same country, Veer Savarkar and Shahid Bhagat Singh were also incarcerated under some law.
You're comparing Lalu Prasad Yadav to Veer Savarkar. May I please ask the anchor to relieve me from the show? I can't hear this. You can't be comparing Lalu Prasad Yadav to Veer Savarkar. I take strong objection. No, one
moment. Let him finish his point. Let him finish his point. Let's listen to what he's saying. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. BJP has to understand, that is what the crux of the question, Maria, is that when you cannot, Shahzad cannot ridicule 9 chief ministers. These 9 chief ministers represent 50 crore Indians, right from Bihar to West Bengal to Telangana to Tamil Nadu to Kerala to Delhi to Punjab. These are just like the Honorable Prime Minister is the Honorable Prime Minister of India. These are 9 honorable government heads of 9 states. These represent 50 crore Indians. They have written to the Prime Minister today to choose a side whether he is a patriarch of a nation or a mascot of a political party, because it is very clear. I think
is Lalu a product of vendetta politics? Yes or no, Siddharth Sharma? He's been convicted 4 times.
Can we please put focus back on Liquor Gate? Yes, Mr. Sharma.
Can you repeat the question?
Let's put the lens back on the case. Manish Sisodia, K. Kavita, because she is going to be questioned tomorrow.
Yeah, as the senior advocate in this panel very clearly said, in the last 1.5 years, PMLA law has been tweaked to make it very tough for people who have been hoisted ED cases to seek bail. The courts are very conservative about it, and that is the law of the land. The law of the land, strangely, doesn't apply to one Mr. Himant Biswa Sharma, who is also under ED investigation, but ED chooses not to
No, what ED investigation is on Himant Biswa Sharma? No, I will not allow facts to be mishandled in this debate. What ED investigation is on Mr. Himant Biswa Sharma? I want to know, I demand to know that right now, which ED case is on Mr. Himant Biswa Sharma?
That is why my
No, Siddharth, you are going on a tangent. First of all, you compared Lalu with Savarkar. That is objectionable and abominable. And Siddharth Sharma, what is the Himanta Biswa Sharma ED case? Please put it out right now. Please put it out right now. What
okay, I am going to give the final word now to Shantanu Sen. Shantanu Sen, looking at the fact that the BJP constantly says, and this is the point that has been made by a number of analysts as well, I want to understand from you, sir, if the bail has not been given for almost like 9 to 10 months to an individual, say in this case a Satyendra Jain, there is no relief that has come from the court till now to Manish Sisodia. Would you then be saying that it's only getting tough for them legally?
It is getting tough because the courts will not give bail when the trial is continuing, and the courts decide that these are persons with immense power and authority. So as long as the trial continues, they may interfere with the witnesses. But let me make it very clear, all this does not convict them. Only Lalu Prasad has been convicted, fine. But neither Manish Sisodia nor Mr. Satyendra Jain nor Kavita ji nor anybody else facing investigation has been convicted. So let us give them their due. They are not convicted, they are facing trial on serious charges. That is it. Politicians can take and draw mileage from anything. Politicians will draw mileage. Let them draw mileage. But the facts of law speak for themselves. They are not convicted. They are facing trial on serious allegations.
That's it. Shantanu, with all due respect, when they used to be India Against Corruption without even a legal process, they held Sheila Dikshit and all other worthies as guilty and demanded resignations. Today you have court processes against them and they do not have the oof to do the resignation, and they defend them as
We'll be seeing several twists and turns in this case. Thank you so much for your time, Shantanu Sen, Ashok Singh, Siddharth Sharma and Shehzad here in the studio. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching.
Greatness of Gandhi, the founder of India, I think no attempts. I think Gandhi's role is universally accepted. But in Modi's India, it's not accepted. In Modi's India, his killers are glorified, as you must be aware how RSS thinks.
But Mr. Altaf, I'm asking you about Pakistani textbooks.
No, I think any textbook that criticizes or paints Gandhi in a negative way, it should be condemned.
So why are Pakistani kids being taught that? Why are Pakistani kids in classes 8, 9 in Pakistani schools being taught that Gandhi was just a leader of the Hindus?
I think that curriculum is not right for young minds, and it should be rectified. That's my opinion. But how do you have the audacity to point out Pakistan's faults? We don't accept Gandhi as a founding father.
Nobody said that you should accept Gandhi as the founding father of Pakistan. Everybody knows Mr. Jinnah was the founding father of Pakistan.
You accept and yet demonize him and glorify his killers.
No, that's a separate matter. I'll ask Shehzad that. I'm asking you a simple question. Do you think Gandhi was a communal leader? Do you think that Gandhi did nothing for Hindu-Muslim unity? Do you think that Gandhi was a leader only of the Hindus?
I don't think that Gandhi was a leader of only Hindus. He played a role for Hindu-Muslim unity. But then some of the things, I think he wasn't assertive enough, or maybe the hardliners ruled the roost at that time. So his camaraderie with Jinnah at one point was well known. But why don't you also do you condemn the killers of Gandhi being glorified in Modi's
Okay, let
India
me ask Shehzad
condemn
Poonawalla that. The contention by Mr. Altaf is that the killers of Gandhi are being feted by your party.
I'll get to that in just 30 seconds, but first let me tell you that, the question that you're asking Omar Altaf is to basically deny his existence. If they believe genuinely that Mahatma Gandhi was the symbol of Hindu-Muslim unity, it obliterates Pakistan's existence. Because the very fact that Jinnah wanted Pakistan is because he felt that Muslims' interests wouldn't be secured by a country like India. So his entire existence is predicated on the fact that Mahatma Gandhi.
One second, Omar, let him finish, please. Omar, 1 second.
Omar, it's called tolerance. It's called tolerance. I know you neither have theological or constitutional basis for it, but that's how debates in India work. So you want to try and practice a little bit of tolerance, theologically and constitutionally difficult for you, but try to learn it from an Indian Muslim. It helps. Now please pipe down and wait your turn. That's how we do it in India. So let me explain to you what is problem of Pakistan. Pakistan's problem is that it is the only country in the world that lives in a schizophrenic bipolar hatred of another country. Its existence is built on hating India and Hindus exclusively. It is not a country. Countries have armies. This army has a country and it's predicated on Atank, Allah and America. Allah and America are long gone, they only have Atank left, and this is indoctrination of Atank which is taking place in the schools of Pakistan, in the madrasas of Pakistan, that you hate somebody as a kafir, you hate even Gandhi as a kafir, you project him as a communal leader and you spew hatred. Now you come to me. You are saying that we praise and glorify the killers of Gandhi. No sir, let me explain to you something. By the way, your favorite party, the Congress party, has inducted the killer of Gandhi, Godse's supporter, Mr. Babulal Chaurasia, but that's another point. I'm not going to dish an opposition party in front of a Pakistani like you. You have no lecture. You know who kills Gandhi every day? The idea of Jinnah that Muslims and Hindus can't live together. And by the way, the idea of Gandhi has survived and the idea of Jinnah has collapsed. Please listen to me. An Indian Muslim stands here and represents the biggest, most democratic party in the world. Please do not, Zaka, I think I deserve to have a say
let him finish. I'll come back to you. I'll give you
country.
Ample time to rebut what he's saying, but let him finish his point. Yeah,
First of all, even when it comes to an opposition party in India, I don't need a Pakistani like you lecturing me, because I, as an Indian Muslim, represent the world's largest democracy on this platform. And by the way, please let me educate you on a couple of things. When we think of India or people of Indian origin, you think of the CEOs of the biggest companies in the world, Adobe, Microsoft.
Congress party domestically in India wouldn't want to be seen as saying that why is the US or the EU not doing anything about the fact that there is no democracy in India. Don't you think that particular statement will not go down well?
Taking refuge under the Special Marriage Act to avoid religious laws is not new. In fact, this is something which has happened and almost being seen as the very purpose of enacting Special Marriage Act.
In India, the total number of Muslims is far greater than Pakistan today. And in India, you have all the firqas of Islam, which is not there in the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. So what are you talking about?
The courts are not finding merit to give bail. Satyendra Jain has been in jail for 9 months, so then why should any such courtesy be extended to Mr. Manish Sisodia? It's the prerogative of the ED to arrest someone if they find that someone not cooperating with the investigation. Rule, Mahatma Gandhi has been reduced as a leader of just Hindus. The textbooks go on to accuse him of disregard for Muslims. The textbooks say, and I quote, Gandhi and his young supporters took charge of the Congress and the approach of Hindus as a majority and disregarded our Muslim rights, creating hatred, jealousy and narrow-mindedness. There is a chapter on the formation of the Indian National Congress which says many Indians join hands to demand for India's nationalism purely Hindu in religion. The Indian National Congress therefore became a more Hindu political party than a voice of all of India. Now, it's not just that. These textbooks also pit Hindi against Urdu by referring to the 1867 controversy over the debate on which language should be chosen as a national language. Pakistani textbooks claim that Hindus wanted Hindi as the official language and that Hindi was pitched as an official language instead of Urdu. And riots broke out over Hindi versus Urdu as the official language. And these textbooks don't stop there. They blame India for the partition, never saying anything about the role of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. The books say that Pakistan territory was divided into two parts and it was Pakistan that was separated by hostile Indian land. The mass violence during the partition has been blamed entirely on the Indian government. The books also claim that partition led to the massacre of Muslims and Sikhs and that Muslims were forced to leave their homes and migrate. The books go on to talk about the problems faced by the newly formed state of Pakistan and largely blame India for this. They also refer to the Khilafat movement of 1919. It says that Muslims learned that they couldn't trust Hindus as a result of the Khilafat movement and that they needed to create unity among themselves. The book also claims that the Khilafat movement was introduced for Muslims and was meant as a concept of nationhood for Muslims of India. So let me now bring in our guests who are joining us on this. Shehzad Poonawala is BJP national spokesperson. Omar Altaf is a senior